All right, it's top of the 2 p.m. hour here at DSR, Duquesne Student Radio. I'm Christian Bartoletti alongside my co-host Ben Giannetta. It is Wednesday, so we're doing our NFL weekly rundown. Tune into our Friday show, 2 to 3, on WDSR, Duquesne Student Radio, if you want to hear the Steelers and Raiders pregame show. However, today, we're in all of the NFL. And the first game tomorrow night, Amazon Prime Video, 8:15 kickoff, 49ers Seahawks.
I think that's going to be a great game. But I do want to start off by saying I did go 6 for 14 on my picks last week.
Nobody cares about your stupid picks.
I want to say that
what does
I'm
6 for 14 even mean? That's
like I got
that's
6
below.
games right.
Okay, that's below half.
It is, yeah. I just want to say that I'm very disappointed in myself, and I'm going to do better this week. But regarding the Niners and the Seahawks, frauds. Seahawks, absolute frauds. I thought they were going to destroy the Giants. I made some outrageous claims. They did not hold up. This is the Niners, even though
they're a little bit banged up. I think Kittle was on the injury report list, and there was another. I think Talanoa Ufanga was also on their injury report list. I'm not saying that either of them are not going to play. I believe they're both going to play, but they're a little bit dinged up.
Yeah, and they're not. I don't think playing to the level that we've seen them play, even if they're a little bit banged up. But I still think that they can win. I mean,
even without McCaffrey, the Niners are still the Niners.
They still have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy, George Kittle. You know,
Mason, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a good running back.
Is he still top 5 in rushing yards in the NFL? Because he was up there, and then obviously they're like, well, who needs McCaffrey? But the Niners sit at 2 and 3.
Yeah. Obviously, they need McCaffrey. He's currently second in the NFL in rushing yards.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't care if you're 400 yards ahead of anybody else. You're 2 and 3.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, especially with how good that defense is, and I have the Niners defense on my fantasy team. I just recently dropped them because I need another running back. But the Niners defense is one of the best in the NFL, and with Bosa coming off the edge, and I guess Greenlaw isn't back yet from his injury, but having Fred Warner, one of the best coverage linebackers in the league, if not the best, I think you can firmly say.
I think you can firmly say he's the best.
Yeah, I agree. As far as how this game will go, I don't know, because we did both mock the Seahawks last week to be our big time.
And
they're going to win by 30. That's what we thought.
I think I overestimated them. I don't think they're.
Or the Giants are just legit.
I don't.
I'm not ready to say the Giants are legit either. But
they're not legit, but they're not. They're definitely not legit. But
they're not the dumpster fire that everyone.
Yeah, I don't think they're the dumpster fire that. I don't think they're going to go 3 and 14.
Right.
Like, they're not going to do that. This is going to be a 7 and 10, 8 and 9 year for them after what I saw against the Seahawks. And
well, the Giants now are 2 and 3, so 3 and 14 is way out of the picture.
But everybody thought at the beginning of the season they would go.
Yeah, I agree.
But I just don't think that I don't have a ton of confidence in Geno Smith. I don't have a ton of confidence in their play calling.
Which is crazy because Geno is one of the top leading passers.
Which
in the
is,
NFL.
I mean, yeah, but he did that in 3 weeks. Again, who did he do that against? He is currently the leader by 40 yards. He's beating C.J. Stroud by 40 yards. But, I mean, who did they do that against? He did, granted, have a nice game against the Lions.
Yeah.
Put up some yards there. Broncos, not a great defense.
Right.
Patriots, terrible defense. Dolphins, terrible defense.
Terrible defense. Maybe on paper. Well, maybe now because Jabril got arrested.
Yes.
Jabril Peppers
he did get arrested.
The drug and assault charges.
Yeah, I mean.
Former Michigan Wolverine. Not go blue.
Absolute beast there.
Yeah.
An incredible
Did
player
it all,
there.
including some other stuff.
Mini Desmond Howard there, but I mean, but like he put up 327 yards, granted on 33 passes and 44 attempts, but still 327 yards against the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
Not calling it a top defense. It's definitely not a terrible defense.
Right.
But he hasn't.
But Seattle's corners. Seattle's corners are legit. So Purdy.
I like them so much.
And then for the 49ers, you're going against Charvarius Ward.
Yes.
And Warner, who takes with the middle of the field.
And then you've got
and Ufanga if he's in the back end, right?
Yeah.
Who kind of, I don't know though, because sometimes he does kind of roam into the box, and I'm not saying this just because of the hair, but in a similar sense that Polamalu did for the Steelers, where he would come into the box and be kind of in help and run support, but also bail out in coverage.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really play center field like you've seen Minkah Fitzpatrick now for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Where you have a roaming safety.
I think that the Niners really rely on that pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
They very much rely on that pass rush to get to the quarterback, create pressure, hurry the quarterback, really stuff that run. I think they rely way more on that defensive line than they do on their secondary.
So your pick, as of now,
I'm
Seattle is the underdog with the better record.
I'm going to take the Niners here.
You do?
I am going to take the Niners.
So the point total is 49.5.
I'm going to take the under.
That's
a lot of points. You said 49.5?
Yeah.
That's a ton of points.
Yeah, for sure. It's right around 25
each.
Right.
I think that this is like a 23-20 game or a 21-17 game.
Could you see a shootout though?
Oh, definitely.
I think this could have like 70 total points scored.
Definitely.
I'll take the over against your under. I am not fully sold and ready to say the 49ers win this game. This is a divisional game, is it not?
It is, and it's in Seattle.
A big deal in Seattle.
Definitely.
Was it still Lumen Field? What is the name of it? I think it's I know they have the 12th man in there. I think it's Lumen.
They still have from College Station.
Whatever. I'm going to go against you both times. So so whoever's right is really right here.
Okay.
I'm going Seattle with the over.
Okay.
And you're taking Niners with the under.
I am. Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Next game.
It is Lumen Field.
Lumen? Cool.
Field,
I'm glad that I knew that. Now we have 9:30 a.m. Still another London game. It's going to be Jags-Bears.
And I picked the Panthers last time because I hate the Bears and I hate Caleb Williams. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take the Jags. Really, it's just my bias.
They need it. They need it.
And they do. And my bias is really,
And that's another really crazy thing is, like, you've seen any team that has underperformed or had a not-so-good season, they immediately are in receiver trade rumors. Every team.
Oh, absolutely.
So we've seen it with Jacksonville underperforming, and they want to dump.
Christian Kirk.
Right. And then we've seen in
with
Tennessee.
the Raiders and Tennessee.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that underperform, they want to dump their best player.
I think I've heard people talking about T. Higgins with the
Yes.
Bengals.
Yeah, well, he's not their best, but yes, I agree. But he's been wanting out for like almost a year and a half now.
Yeah, but the talks are really.
And Jamar, because Jamar was talking like, if you don't re-sign me, like I won't play. And then he was like,
he's playing now.
Yeah, and he said for week 1 he was saying something about like everyone knew he'd be a healthy scratch. He was like, I'm thinking I might play, and it's like you're healthy, you're under contract, you have to play, and of course that's my dad's view of it. If you're under contract, you should play, and I agree with him.
Oh yeah,
and I think everybody from a fan's perspective would, but
I am
you're
paying
a player,
to see you play.
Yeah, especially
get on the field.
Especially being that if he's still under his rookie deal and he was picked first overall or second overall, whatever it was.
I think he's 5th.
Oh really?
Yeah,
well,
he fell to 5.
Whatever slotting was. He still gets like a $10 million
signing
signing bonus and
yeah.
probably an $8 million cap hit for the Bengals.
Yeah.
So it's not like he doesn't have money. He just wants the $40 million or whatever super max that they call it. That
Justin Jefferson money.
33, yeah, whatever Justin Jefferson's dollar amount was, he wanted like $1 more.
Does he?
Or
Does he deserve it?
I don't know. I think Justin Jefferson is firmly far and away the best receiver in the NFL.
I don't think far and away. I think he's the best. I
don't think there's a 1A and a 1B. I think it's a 1 and a firm 2. And I
can agree with that.
I think the 1 would be Jefferson, and I think the firm 2 would be Tyreek, in my opinion.
I could see that, yeah. I think that.
But it depends on what kind of receiver you like.
Yeah.
I like speed. So Tyreek is going to take the 2 spot for me.
Yeah, I mean.
Who takes your 2 spot in receivers?
It would probably be Tyreek. I mean.
But if you're a GM, though, because Tyreek's like 30 years old almost now.
If I'm a GM and I have my pick of anybody else besides Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, at 2.
I'm stuck between A.J. Brown and I'm stuck between Jamar Chase. Those are the 2 guys I'm stuck between. I am
crazy surprised that you said A.J. Brown.
I think A.J. Brown is a monster.
I never viewed A.J. Brown as that upper echelon guy.
Oh, he's definitely an upper echelon. You kidding me?
Yeah, okay, so
now
I'm wrong.
Is.
I'm
now
wrong.
He is.
I'm wrong. I don't mean upper echelon. I meant like in Justin Jefferson category. To me,
I
Justin Jefferson plays on
He's
cloud
not
9.
in Justin Jefferson category, but if I had to pick
have him right below.
But if I had to pick a guy other than Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson, I'd probably go there.
Okay.
I think that he's
because he can do it with any quarterback. Essentially,
and he's proved he can do it.
Yeah.
He did it in Tennessee, which was we did it with Tannehill, which is
right. It's hard.
It's Tannehill.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, he's relatively young. I mean, he's 27 years old.
I thought 28.
He's got 6, maybe 7 good, productive years left in him.
And he's strong. He's a big, strong receiver.
6'1", 225 pounds.
Yeah, he's built like an ox.
He's fast.
Yeah, I could see it. I think my second pick behind Jefferson, if I'm a GM trying to build for the future, I'm probably taking Jamar or trying to think.
Maybe Brandon.
This is gonna be crazy. Maybe Marvin Harrison. Because I am so high on Marvin Harrison, and he will be a Hall of Fame receiver.
I would just like to see him perform, and maybe he's not in a great system, because how many catches did he have against the Niners? Like, how many targets is he getting? He's not getting a ton of targets,
ever since Kyler Murray made that quote, we talked about it last week. He made that quote like, "It's not my job to force feed Marvin Harrison Jr." And then everybody was like, "Yeah, kind of is." It's like your best receiver, and he's like one of the top weapons, one of the best collegiate receivers we've seen
ever.
Pretty much. I was gonna say recent history, but yeah, I'd agree with you. He's one of the most polished prospects coming out of the draft that we've ever seen at receiver.
This guy was like, if quarterback wasn't such a coveted position, he'd go #1 overall.
Well, that's the thing too. Is even people were saying like, even if Chicago took him at 1, you cannot fumble picking Marvin Harrison Jr. because he will. He's a guarantee.
No one would have faulted Chicago for taking Marvin Harrison Jr. He had 7 targets against.
So did George Pickens against Dallas.
But yeah, he had 7 targets for 2 catches.
With how many yards? Like nothing.
36.
Oh.
I'm not gonna, it's very
against the 49ers. So the Niners D coverage, whether it's just shutting down the primary receiver or what.
I mean, Michael Wilson had 5 catches for 78 on 6 targets.
No.
So, but maybe it's because they're focusing on Marvin Harrison and he's getting open.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why that happened. That's probably what happened. I mean, why do you think that, wide receiver 2s do very well with great wide receiver 1s? You have a lot of great wide receiver. Why do you think Jalen Waddle does so well against Tyreek Hill? Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill takes 4 DBs. Everybody drops back, leaves that middle, those dig routes, those crossers for Jalen Waddle. They're wide open.
Yeah. And speaking of great receiving cores, the Bears have one of the best before the season, even though Keenan Allen has been battling his injuries. Yeah. But still you're seeing
Moore and Romo Dunze.
You're seeing a Dunze step up in that role like you've wanted to see.
Yep.
And now it's looking like Caleb Williams is becoming more of a comfortable quarterback, and he's playing better football.
I hate to say this, but I think
he
was just a little rattled to start the year.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
A very big stage. He's got a ton of pressure on him.
Right.
Maybe he was a little rattled. I still don't think he's going to be top 5 in the league at any point.
You're saying this for his career?
Just for his career. I don't think he'll get there. I think he's probably going to be an above-average quarterback.
It's tough because of what Manziel did to the quarterback position of like improviser quarterbacks. Like if you watch Pat Mahomes play, Pat Mahomes is not Johnny Manziel.
Absolutely not.
Pat Mahomes stays in the pocket and then bails when he needs to. He doesn't bail to have to make plays.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams, I think he gets timid in the pocket and he gets scared. So he feels the pressure. It collapses on him.
But, I mean, he's got a right to be timid. His
offensive line sucks.
Is just not – I mean, I haven't looked up, like, how much time he's been sacked, but he's up there.
Right, and the Bears quarterbacks, no matter who it is, has always been up there. And same with the Bengals as well, as their offensive lines have just not figured it out.
Yeah, but, I mean
you have to be able to stand in the pressure, and that's what a lot of quarterbacks talk about. When you can tell a quarterback is great from when a quarterback is just serviceable, is whenever they stand in that pocket and deliver those tough throws and take the pressure, and it's coming, you're going to get hit, you just stand there, take it, and make the throw.
Yeah.
I think Caleb feels that pressure and wants to bail, and he doesn't want to get hit. And that's, fair enough. I wouldn't want to get crushed by a 300-pound guy either. But so far for this Jags pass rush, you saw, obviously Josh Hines-Allen is there.
Mm-hmm.
You got Trevon Walker, who to this point has not played out.
He's not lived up to the number one overall pick.
And he should, in my opinion, he should never been taken first overall. But that's besides the point. They have him regardless.
It was such a weird draft. It was a very, very weird draft.
I think, to my opinion, Aiden Hutchinson was obviously the home run hit, which is another Michigan Wolverine.
I would not go out and say obvious. I think
you don't think?
I don't think he was the obvious home run
To me,
pick.
he was the obvious number 1 pick, and the fact that Trevon Walker got so much hype leading up to it because of his athletic ability, because of his Georgia stature or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean,
it dominated why he went up so high, and I didn't agree.
He's got 5 sacks this year, though. Trevon Walker.
Right.
Tied for 5th. On it, and then if you take away, I'm not discrediting because that was against my Buccaneers, but the Aiden Hutchinson. Was that 4 sack?
Yeah,
5 sack
it definitely inflated his.
It inflated it, and like he has 6.5 this year,
right?
Which is the best,
right?
But he had 4 of those in one game.
Yeah,
and like that leaves 2.5 for for the next what? How many games have they played? 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
I agree.
I wouldn't say that
one game definitely does that because there was one game. And this is bringing up a crazy name. Chandler Jones had 5 sacks in the game and then finished the season with like 8.
Didn't Khalil Mack do that
and then
2 years
but they
ago?
fell off the face of the earth out. But I think Khalil Mack finished with like 18 or something.
Oh, did he?
He was somewhere around having a high sack total. But there have been guys that have one great game. Like I think it was most notably it was Chandler Jones versus Taylor Lewan in that Tennessee Titans game, and he was just taking Lewan to the
Oh
woodshed.
yes, I
Right.
remember that game.
Yes, and he had like 5
yes,
sacks, and then
yeah.
the rest of the season he didn't do anything, and
I
that's
remember that.
the problem
I
that you
remember
see.
Yeah.
For this Jags-Bears game, Jacksonville is the underdog. They're 1-4. They need a win. They have to have something.
I think if they can't get this win, what do? Do you
blow the team up? You have to.
Yeah.
Or fire Doug Peterson. Like something has to happen drastically, and we're gonna get into the Jets talk, and we have a lot to talk about there because I watched Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show today. A lot to talk about. Jags-Bears as it is, 45.5 point total. I'm taking the under.
Ooh, I'm going to take the over.
I think Caleb Williams is going to actually have a hard I think this Jags defense is going to play very well against him, and I think the offensive line is going to cause problems for the Bears. Their run game has not been great. I like Devin Lloyd a lot coming out of the draft. It was either Utah or I think
he played for Utah.
I would say it was a team that wore black and red, whether it was Texas Tech or Utah. I think it was Utah.
Yeah.
And I liked him a lot because I like speedy, athletic linebackers, and he fits the bill for that 100%. I like his ability. He's been all right this year. I'm not going to say he's been like super underrated, but he's been a good player and a good coverage linebacker for the Jags. So I think that the Bears are going to have a game similar to that Titans game, the first game of the season, where Caleb played terrible and Tennessee also played terrible. They just played worse and lost the game. It's not going to be like a team wins this football game. A team will lose. Right. Yeah.
I am going to take the Jags though. What's the line?
It's 45.5, and you said you want to take the over.
I said over 45.5. I'm taking the over. Yep.
You said Jags. I'm gonna stick Jags. I'm gonna stick
You're
Jags.
taking the under.
Yes, on point under with Jags. So we both picked an upset there.
Yep.
This begins the 1 p.m. games. We've got Texans Patriots 4-1 versus 1-4 for the Texans and the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, the Texans are going to win this game. It's not.
That's the funny thing, dude. If the Patriots win this game, I will laugh at your face because like that's how the NFL has gone this year. And I've gone back and looked at what I've previously said in our parlays that we mock up. Oh my goodness, have we been completely wrong? Like we both thought. At least a 20-point blowout win for the Seahawks last week against the Giants, and they lost.
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
And obviously, nobody could have foreseen the Commanders being what they are, and that's the next game we'll hit on. That's why I'm talking about them. But and the Browns implosion. But sticking to Texans and Patriots, I am going to say Texans.
So am I.
But here's the point total. You're gonna laugh. 38.5 per point scored total.
That's such a great line because this could be a 26-6 game.
Oh, you think it's going to be that bad? Because New England is obviously the underdog, and I think they're going to be the biggest underdog on the not the biggest underdog on the entire week.
But like
they're second biggest underdog.
Can New England put up points? Because they have proven that they cannot put up points.
I think didn't they say that May is going to start this week?
I was going to bring that up. I was saying, do you start Jacoby Brissett? And do you continue to just baby Drake May, teach him?
I think I saw a report that he's going to start this week. They're going to start May.
And
it's tough because they're bringing him in against this great. Yes.
I think that they should wait another week. They play the Jags
next week.
I think maybe you bring him in there. But I mean, I think that
they need a spark, right?
Yeah, because
this is so first year coach. The Patriots have been such a historic franchise. Something has to change here at 1-4.
They've put up 16 points, 20 points, 3 points, 13 points, 10 points.
Yeah.
I don't think that they can put up points. Maybe that changes with Drake May. I don't think they have the weapons to put up points. I like Ramondre Stevenson. I just don't like the wide receivers. I think Jalen Polk can get there. Yeah. But he's not there yet. He's still a rookie.
And Javon Baker. I like a lot of their receivers. That they drafted 2 or 3 receivers, and I like their picks. But they're not going to contribute right now. They still need a lot of work. I'm going to go with you as well on the Texans. I want to say I'm going to take the over on the points.
So am I. I'm going to take the over.
Okay. So next we have Commanders Ravens. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the entire week.
Absolutely, I could definitely see that. And I'm so frustrated because I'm such a Jaden Daniels stan. But I'm seeing so many people saying that he should be an MVP candidate, and he's not an MVP candidate.
You don't think?
He's not an MVP.
Why not, though?
Why not? Because
he's a 4-1 Commanders team. I think this Commanders team with anybody, you can bring up past quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins or Robert Griffin III, anybody.
I think he's doing what he's asked to be doing. Like he's
Heineke even. Like this team hasn't been good in a long while.
I get that, but he's doing exactly what he's been asked to do, and he's doing it very well. But he's not like I wouldn't say that I just don't
Because
think he's
I
sweet.
was calling for Stroud to be an MVP last year. I think he deserved it last year.
I think
and
possibly.
they aren't going to give a rookie quarterback an MVP trophy
I
for.
still don't think they ever will.
Right, I agree.
And I don't think that they should give Jane Daniels.
This season
if he
shouldn't be it.
continues to play like this,
If
still
he gets
don't.
5K yards, toss it to him, I'd say. And
If he gets 5,000 yards, then yes, you got to give him the MVP.
Yeah.
But that, I mean,
he's not there.
and also because we haven't had spectacular quarterback play this season. Like freaking Sam Darnold
Yeah.
is.
And Geno Smith is Sam Darnold's the league leader in touchdowns or something. Maybe
He's
Burrow.
tied with Baker.
Okay, so what happened to Burrow? Because Burrow threw 5 touchdowns. And
He's
they
second.
Say,
He's got 10.
right.
He's
after
second
a
in
5-touchdown game, which obviously
Good to see that he finally woke
we
up.
talked about inflating stats, but still with the loss there. And
He didn't play. He played. Beat the Ravens. It's not like he.
Oh no! But I mean, we talk about
Inflating with
Aiden
Aiden
Hutchinson,
Hutchinson.
yes,
How he
and the
inflated
5
his stats.
touchdown for
Yeah.
5. Yes, right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at his other games. But
Yeah.
I don't think that Jane Daniels is an MVP. Maybe you could say he's a candidate, but I don't think he's going to come anywhere close to winning it.
Dude, this is wild. They have Washington as a plus 240 underdog. They're like second or third in the entire week for
That's
underdog
surprising.
odds.
That is very.
So
surprising.
they don't rate the but here's the thing, it's NFC versus AFC, and everyone knows how much tougher the AFC is as a whole, as opposed to the NFC. So maybe the best NFC team can't really hang with the AFC teams.
I'm not even ready to say that the Commanders are the best NFC team. I don't think that they are.
But they're up there.
They're up there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they got a 4-1 record.
Yeah, but looking past the record, just
And
based on McLaurin and all this other.
I think that
you're
Jane
seeing.
Daniels can have a good game against this Ravens defense. You just saw what Joe Burrow did.
Tough. I think
Is he going to put up 300 yards and 5 touchdowns? No.
That defense, the Ravens defense is so good, and that's the thing.
It
Is. Like I'm gonna take. This is gonna be tough for me to say. I'm gonna take the Ravens defense, and I'm gonna take the under point total of 51.5.
Oh, it's a 51.5. Oh.
51.5. That's the highest of the entire week.
And you're taking what, the under?
Yeah. And I think this point scored line is inflated because of last week's game where it was 38-35 against the Bengals.
I'm gonna take the Ravens. I'm gonna take the over.
Ravens over. Okay, so we both go Ravens. This is so tough because 100% I can see the Commanders winning this game. 100%.
I could see this. I could see them winning this game. Do I think it's gonna happen? No, but I wouldn't be surprised if they won.
And here, the next game, still on the 1 p.m. slate. This is the biggest underdog odds of the entire week. It's Cleveland and Philadelphia. And Philly gets back both of their receivers. I checked the injury report.
They're gonna get him back.
Yep.
This is not a game.
Devonta Smith, the concussion, he's back. And then I think it was a hammy.
Was it a hamstring?
I think it was something like that. And they said that he's also supposed to be back. Philly sits at 2-2 though, but I think they're coming off of their bye.
Yes.
So they had an extra week to prepare for the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns not much to prepare for there.
No.
And Njoku's getting an MRI on his knee, ankle, something, lower body extremity. He's getting an MRI today. Matters to me because he's my tight end in fantasy. So
drop him.
But no, I'm not dropping one of the best receiving tight ends in the NFL right now. Well, not right now, but in the past. But it wouldn't matter. But there's a lot of people calling for Jameis, also calling for Deshaun Watson's head in Cleveland.
They should call for Deshaun Watson's head. They should not want Jameis Winston to start.
Well, that's the only option they have, other than who?
I think Deshaun is.
Who's that? Oh man, UCLA receiver quarterback.
DTR.
That was DTR. Dorian Thompson Robinson. I love DTR. I was a big fan of DTR.
You can't pay Deshaun Watson $260 million and then just not play him because
yeah.
You paid him all this money. You have to play him.
That's what's so crazy. That's like that has to go.
I don't think that Jameis
Winston.
I hate Deshaun Watson with a burning passion, but he's not as bad as Jameis Winston. And I love Jameis Winston. He's so funny.
That's what's crazy though, but because Jameis Winston has has the ability to throw for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. I could see it
with 4 interceptions.
Well, maybe. But maybe he doesn't throw 4 interceptions.
Maybe he doesn't.
It's just ball luck at that point, maybe.
Like when he was on the Buccaneers, he would have incredible games out of nowhere, and then he'd go back.
He'd try to drop into a 5-step, and then he'd fall flat on his back, and then throw it up in the air. Whatever. We've all seen the famous
Will
Jameis.
Levis before Will Levis.
Right. We've all seen the famous Jameis stealing crab legs memes. There's so much to look at with Jameis Winston, and he's like a commodity.
We're gonna eat this W.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat this stuff.
He is pretty corny. I'm gonna be I don't know. It's just something about him being from the South, and he just talks funny. But I think you have because Deshaun Watson, he lost his locker room and his team. Nobody likes him. And that's like
He lost the locker room the day he got there.
well, that's like a known fact though, is that like he is not liked by anybody, and he just they're forced to play him
And
because
how could you like this guy?
right. And I agree,
Yeah.
and after everything, and there was even more reports that came out. It's
Yeah,
like
but that
get
got
this guy out of a
settled.
sauna, like don't let him around and like put like what they do for child predators. Do it to him with saunas and massage parlors.
Contact every massage
Massage
parlor
sauna
within a 10-mile radius of
Not
that
even
stadium.
a
In
50,
the state
50
of Ohio.
million mile radius of the continental United States. Just call everybody. Get this guy out of there.
Put him
But
on a wanted poster.
I don't know, man. Back to football, which is what we're talking about. Yeah, we got Philly.
Yeah, it's a
42.5 point line.
I'm gonna take the under.
I'm taking the over. I think low key. Oh gosh, because if Cleveland wins this game, I'm going to punch my teeth out of my own mouth because it's gonna make me so upset.
It would too. It'd make me very upset. if
Ju-
it
not
wins.
even because of the AFC North bias, but like the fact that like there's physically no reason for Philadelphia to lose this game.
Unless somebody gets injured.
But like even okay, so I will play into the fact that Cleveland's defense is very good. So you have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah,
yeah.
right? You have Myles Garrett. You have it's not Zadarius Smith anymore. Who's the opposite of him?
I thought it was Darius.
Maybe-
Did they
okay.
get rid of him?
No, it was somebody older, like an older pass rusher, and he's
You know what? You're right. I forget who this is, and I just his
It's a
name
different
is on
guy.
the tip of my tongue. I forget. Give me a second. I'm checking.
I'll just talk through the corners.
It is Darius Smith. He's
Oh, it
still
is?
there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. They have interior guys that I know their D tackles are all right.
Especially the guy that got arrested who isn't playing.
Yeah, well,
Mike Hall.
and then there's I don't know if they still have Taki, but they have like some decent linebackers there that play ball really well.
They do not have Taki.
Okay.
They do still have Dalvin Tomlinson.
Okay, that's the
And they
interior
have
guy.
your boy Devin Bush.
Oh gosh, Devin Bush has been literally non-existent since his knee injury. It's sad to say, but
It is.
injuries ruin careers.
Promising career.
So they have Denzel Ward.
Mm-hmm.
They have Greg Newsome. Who,
Yes.
okay, and then they have another really great cornerback that I really liked, and he's always played really well.
Are you talking about Martin Emerson?
Yes.
'Kay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he got torched by somebody though. Maybe it was Terry McLaurin.
Whatever.
Or, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Everyone's getting torched because they put up like 35 points, didn't they?
Like,
31,
42,
42.
I think. I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know.
everybody on that defense got sold, but Eagles. They have a great offensive line. Everyone knows Lane Johnson,
They got their weapons
Mailata, Landon
back.
Dickerson, whatever. They got
Mhm.
their receivers like you've just mentioned. They have Saquon Barkley. I think Jalen Hurts is still good to go. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, they had the bye week.
I'm gonna check right now to see what his status is. But I thought I remember him being listed as questionable for games.
Did it say why?
No, I'm checking right now. No, he's good to go. He's perfectly fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean,
So they have all their guys.
This should be an easy win for them.
It should.
Yeah. And this could be the game that gets them back on track. This
Yep.
could be the game that motivates them.
And
you know,
especially
we're
with
finally
how up
healthy.
in the air their conference has been.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Cowboys, they got the big win over the Steelers, but I still don't think that the Cowboys are what they used to be over the last couple of years. I mean,
Right.
the Commanders, they're looking very good. Are they as good as they've been playing? That is yet to be seen.
And
then
the Giants are just they're the throwaway team in that conference, but at the same time they're still fighting.
In the same time, they can still beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is sad because they are. It's like a giant slayer, right? Where you're just like it's like the opposite of the Titans or
Mhm,
whatever. Where it's
yeah.
like the Titans are just gonna get whopped, but
Mm-hmm.
this Giants team they
They
can
may
fight.
not be great, but, you know, they
And
can
Neighbors
still
is
beat
back
ya,
from his concussion.
which is very big
Yeah,
for
you
them.
need Malik Neighbors if you want to win games.
Anybody
in-
needs Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, if you're in New York wanting to win games. Next game we have is Cardinals Packers, and Arizona is the underdog here. I could agree. I would like to see, and I understand that you don't necessarily need it because this offense has been good for Green Bay. I would like to see Green Bay and Jordan Love with a bona fide receiver one, like how Rodgers had Devontae Adams his whole entire career, and
Yeah, but would you
Favre
would
had
you
Driver
rather-
and whoever else.
Would you rather have a bona fide wide receiver one and really just average wide receivers, or would you rather have 3 above average wide receivers?
Do you think they're above average? Jaden Reed
I like
and Romeo
Jaden Reed
Dobbs
has been playing
and
very well,
who's
and
the other
Christian
guy?
Watson.
I like Christian Watson.
I like Christian Watson, and I like Jaden Reed.
You see the report about Romeo Dobbs being upset that he's not getting his target share is down. He's like not happy
Romeo
in the
Dobbs,
offense.
your 6th round pick. You had
You're lucky to even be here, bro.
Yeah, like you were very close to being undrafted. You had a very solid rookie year.
Yeah.
But there are better receivers on that team. All right, I
Yeah.
understand that you want to get touches, But come on, man. Let's.
And who's that? Is Josh Jacobs hurt? Why am I blanking on Josh? I think Josh Jacobs is good.
Is he?
No, I think he's all right. I'm getting mixed up because there's so many like big stars that have gone down with injuries. I think Josh Jacobs is all right, but I just haven't heard much about him. That's the thing. Like this season, I haven't. Like Josh Jacobs is always like up there in rushing yards.
Nobody talked about the Packers when Jordan Love was hurt
because they had Malik Willis.
Yeah,
who
nobody really.
I was.
Yeah,
You know what's
he's
really
active,
funny?
He's fine.
I was very bullish on Malik Willis in that Kenny Pickett draft class because that was like the pick. It was like Tomlin really likes Malik Willis. They went out to a dinner together and they had a good conversation. And Tomlin really likes the kid, and he was seen giving out like help, like clothes to a homeless lady or whatever else.
Yep.
And they were like, he's a great character guy. And Tomlin was talking about how much he liked Willis, and I was really thinking that Malik was going to do something crazy in the NFL. And then
I knew he was not going to be very good.
Whatever.
I called that.
Of course, yeah, of course, you know everything.
I
Anyways,
know most things.
no, okay. So Arizona is the underdog.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take Packers here.
I'm going to take Arizona.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And this 47.5, I'm going over it.
I
like Kyler. I like Marvin Harrison. I'm going to be honest, I think Jair is almost, he's either battling back, and this one I do know. This is a fact. This is not like a crazy one. He, I think, is battling back from an injury, but he's set to go. I'm not sure yet. He's questionable. So he's not for sure out, but he's not for sure playing.
Okay.
So that's your cornerback one who's going to follow, because that's how he does. He follows their best receiver.
And that'd be Marvin Harrison.
Correct. So if he's out, that's a big hit for the Packers defense.
Definitely is. I still think that that Packers offense is very good.
Okay, I see it. And the Cardinals defense is completely dumpster fire bad.
You know that Budda Baker is the fifth leader in
Tackler?
tackles. Yeah,
I
he's
figured.
fifth leading tackler. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That doesn't really translate.
whenever your
how well-
defensive line can't generate pass rush or stop the run, and then your linebackers can't really flow to the ball because you traded away
That's what happens.
Isaiah Simmons and whoever else. But
Isaiah
is
Simmons
Zayvon Collins still there? or
well,
did he just fall off the face of the earth? Because we don't talk about him too much.
that's because he plays for the Cardinals.
Fair enough. Nobody in Arizona deserves to be talked about.
Zayvon.
You're gonna love this next one.
Okay, let me hear it.
Buccaneers Saints.
Of
1
course,
p.m.
Zayvon Collins is still in the NFL. He's got 15 tackles, 1 sack. Yeah, so he's
For Arizona, or is it somebody
for
else?
Arizona. He's still playing for Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That's who they gave up on Isaiah Simmons for that guy, by the way. Isaiah Simmons is one of my
they just have a
favorite
habit
players.
of picking positionless players and trying to
Put
them into a position.
Yeah, it's like they try to like bust down the door of like a mold of a typical safety or typical linebacker, and they try to make a hybrid of it, and it didn't work out with either of these players, I don't think.
Unfortunately, but you know.
Well, okay, I'm not ready to say Isaiah Simmons. I'm not ready to give up on him because Isaiah Simmons is still one of my favorite players in the entire NFL.
He's such an athletic specimen.
And they have him at safety in New York, and he's not bad, and he's fast enough to keep up with safety. He's also 6'4", and he's built like a linebacker. So whenever you have that size, that speed, that ability, and you're playing safety, it's not really heard of before. Back to the Buccaneers Saints, though.
This is
You're my Buccaneers expert.
This is a relatively easy pick for me. Derek Carr. It was diagnosed as an oblique injury.
Right. I forgot about that towards the end of the game.
95% sure he's out.
But why did they go to Hayner? I'd let Rattler spin.
As soon as he went down, I was like, all right, Spencer Rattler, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
And then I see.
They talk about Hayner, who is just like the
Jake
ultimate
Hayner.
meme. Like how much of them steroids really help you, buddy? He took a 4-game suspension, and he's still like the worst backup in the entire NFL. It's absurd.
But this is a relatively easy game. The only thing that would make this like an interesting game is if Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans like fought again.
Oh, that's gonna happen 100%. I actually
Yeah.
forgot about how bad they hate each other.
They're the only NFL players that like actually like hate. one
Oh
another.
yeah, well other than Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate, but you ever hear
Who's
about that
still
story?
in the NFL? Who's still in the NFL?
Yeah, Jalen
Jalen.
Ramsey is, but do you know what happened with that whole story?
I have no idea.
It was Jalen Ramsey was dating Golden Tate's sister, and
Oh well, that's crazy.
and then he like
Good for
cheated
Jalen
on her
Ram-
and
oh.
dumped her and did all
I
this
was-
bad stuff to
I
her.
was gonna say good for Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, what you think? What you think his sister has to be bad?
Well, I mean,
Whatever. Moving on. Buccaneers Saints. Now that Carr's out, it's
a
gonna
pretty
be
easy pick.
heavy Kamara though, and your defensive line, it's. So I know Vita Vea was out. He's back now. He's been playing. Kalijah Kancey, who had a good rookie year,
he's been injured this season.
and you haven't
Hasn't
seen
really
a whole
played.
lot from him.
Yeah, hasn't really played.
Shoyinka was a failed pick,
Yeah, he's really just hasn't lived up to that first.
and
round
but
hype.
you're getting great production out of Zion McCollum, and I know that in your back end.
Seriously, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
And Izzy is playing well. I mean, definite like.
Is
I mean,
Servassier still?
Servassi's still on the roster.
No, I know he's still. He's like a starter, but I
think
thought he was
he's
like hurt or
getting-
something.
I think he might be getting
With
minutes.
Levante David. Levante
Yeah.
obviously one of the better
I mean, he's got
linebackers for
14
years.
What's crazy is he has one less tackle and the same amount of sacks as Zayvon Collins, and this guy was a 5th round.
Yeah, that's just like the crazy.
But that's
production.
besides the point. That's my pit bias coming out.
Oh, for sure, he's a
But-
big pit guy.
But
I'm taking Buccaneers. You're taking Buccaneers.
but Servassier Dennis is on the IR,
Oh, he is.
shoulder injury.
Okay,
Yep.
well then, whoever's your other middle linebacker. Oh, it's that. It's like Kenny Britt. Is it still Kenny Britt? Is he still there?
Oh, I thought he was like I thought he was an edge rusher.
I don't.
'Cause he came out of Auburn. I like
yes,
him.
yeah, out of Auburn. That's how I knew about him.
Yeah, let's see.
That's so funny that we both
KJ
pulled that.
Britt. Yeah.
KJ.
Um,
Well,
Chris
Kenny's
Brass
his real name. but-
Yaya Diaby.
Oh, right, and he's actually decent. Isn't he wearing
He
0
is.
for you guys?
He is. He is wearing number 0.
Yeah.
6'4", 270,
Oh,
which is
Yaya?
very big.
Oh my
But-
God.
You know, I think he's played well. It's just our corners need to play better. He can't give up 500 passing yards, and nobody tackles Kadero Hodge on the last play of the game. That can't happen. But, you know,
41.5 is the total point.
taking the under.
I'll go the over.
Okay,
just to
good.
go against you.
All right.
Next game up is Colts Titans.
Did you say 41.5?
41.5 for
Okay.
the.
Colts Titans.
Are you making a note of all your picks?
Absolutely.
You realize we now have.
I don't care. I don't trust you.
Oh, okay. So
I've
so
got a
bro is the researcher and the typer.
I have color coded it also.
Stupid. Colts Titans. You're like the spreadsheet nerd who like has some form of autism that just like has to
Whoa.
nerd out over like colors and you have to color code everything. It has to be all in like
I just
you're gonna
want it to
text
be-
align stuff and
I
whatever
just
the heck
want
else.
it to be colorful, Christian.
Yeah, of course. That makes a lot of sense coming from you. Anyway, moving on. Colts Titans.
Colts. Is this really
Colts Titans.
Colts? Is this really a? I think I picked them to pick.
Didn't they just get schmacked though?
I think I just lost to the Patriots, and I picked them.
The Patriots.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, pick Titan. Oh, they did. Hold on, give me a second. Because they they beat up on the Dolphins, right? They beat them like 31 to
Talking
like.
about who the
Titans,
Titans.
yes.
The Titans got schmacked by
Yeah, they beat up on the. Okay.
Oh yeah, they
they
did.
just
No, they
beat
did.
up on the Dolphins 31-12.
But
Yeah,
see,
I
you-
called that.
You say on the who? The Titans beat up on who?
Oh yeah, the Dolphins, because they don't have. Tua.
And when Rudolph came in and and Tony Pollard ran the ball for 88 yards and a touchdown.
and Mason Rudolph was below average game manager. I still think that the Colts should win this game. Joe Flacco is Joe Flacco.
Oh, there's something about Richardson. So there's
Don't bring Richardson back.
do you want to see Joe Flacco keep going?
I mean,
What about you likes Joe Flacco?
He's-
Primarily
he's-
with that great arm of his. I know
He's Super Bowl winning quarterback.
you love doing the impression, but
It's a great quote, but I mean, he's playing better than Anthony Richardson. He really is.
wow.
Are you really gonna
Wow.
debate me about that?
Wow.
Are you really gonna debate me about that?
I don't care what the box score says. If it's Joe Flacco
the
up
pa-
against AR-15, I'm taking AR-15 in
If
my
I'm
sleep
thinking about the
twice on
future,
Sundays, especially now.
if I'm thinking about so where did AR-15 go out against the Steelers, right?
Yeah, in like the
Okay,
first quarter, and then Joe
before-
Flacco came in and threw.
Before he got injured, they put up 27 points, 10 points, 21 points. Joe Flacco has put up 24 and 34.
That's 2 games.
Still,
Were there
we
any
saw what he
defensive
did-
touchdowns for them for that Colts team that inflates his offensive points, whatever?
Did they have any against the Steelers?
No, I meant against who they just played,
The
the Colts.
Jags. I don't know.
And it's the Jags and it's the
Who
Steelers,
watched
and the
that
Steelers
game?
defense has completely imploded.
Who
But
watched that
that's
game?
not a typical topic for today. Who watched what game? The Colts Jags.
Jags except for
I
Jags
saw
and
I
Colts.
saw the Colts cornerback like dive like he was in Madden. That was hilarious.
Okay.
We've spent
no
like
defensive
7 minutes on
touchdowns.
this Colt Titans game, and it's crazy because this game's a non-factor
It
game.
really isn't.
Colts.
Definitely. What's the
43.5 points.
Taking the over.
I'm going the under. Joe Flacco doesn't
Alright.
get it done. They're going to hand off to Taylor a whole lot against that Titans.
Oh, I
D-line.
kind of forgot he's on that team.
Yeah, a little bit. And now we got an AFC West matchup. It's Chargers Broncos, and
I'm
this should be
taking-
good.
Yeah, I'm taking. I would assume I'm taking an upset. I'm taking the Broncos.
Yeah,
I would assume
Denver's
that's an
the
upset.
upset.
Yes. Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos.
Wow, you're gonna laugh at this point line.
What is it?
35.5.
I'm not laughing because that's so.
You think that's on brand?
That is such an on-brand, like, because
Oh man.
Denver's defense is playing extremely well right now. Granted, they did play the Raiders. Granted, Minshew Mania was
dude,
fun.
that's what's so awful. You're saying, granted, you're playing the Raiders because the Raiders' offense is so bad.
Yeah.
Steelers this week. And if I see Gardner Minshew Mania running wild all over Acrisure Stadium, you will catch me in my room
Crying.
spinning from a ceiling fan. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's not for on air. Whatever. You're gonna catch me doing something. I don't know.
Catch you crying.
Yeah, sure. That's a better way to put it. I'm going Chargers. I'm going J.K. Dobbins
Okay.
and Justin Herbert. Quentin Johnson's gonna have 2 touchdowns.
I could see that happening.
2 touchdowns is kind of absurd for Quentin Johnson, but I'm going over 35.5. That line is disrespectful to
I
me.
will also go over 35.5, but I think it'll be close.
This one, I think this will be a really good game, and I have a lot of stakes riding on this. It's Lions Cowboys.
I have Lions.
This is a 4:25 game, by the way.
Yep.
4:05 for the Chargers Broncos. So after this, we're gonna do our little Steelers thing,
Cool.
the tiny Steelers thing. But Lions Cowboys, 52.5 points.
That's high. That's
Yeah.
very high, but that's warranted because I think.
But
the
is it
Lions
though?
can put up-
Because the
Lions can put up a lot of points. I'm not saying that the Cowboys can put up a lot of points, but the Lions can.
But the Cowboys offense though.
Yeah, I mean, I could see.
I watched obviously 1 a.m. whatever. I stayed up.
Not staying up for that.
I
but you
watched
did.
the entire game.
Yeah.
They should have had at least 15 extra points.
Yeah.
Because of the fact Dak threw an interception twice on key drives. They got a field goal blocked. There was another fumble or something, like a strip sack fumble. There's a lot that the Cowboys missed out on. So they're just not firing on all cylinders. And CD and Dak have a tainted relationship. There's something wrong there. Because when Dak threw his second interception, which was they were at the Steelers' 20-yard line. So they're right on the verge of scoring. They're in the red zone pretty much. Dak throws the pick to the front pylon, and CD was running more towards the middle of the end zone to the back pylon. And they go to the sideline, and there's a video of CD going up to Dak Prescott, and he says, "Oh, so we're throwing jump balls now, huh?" And Dak looks at the ground, watches his tablet, doesn't even acknowledge CD Lamb's existence. The game-winning drive, obviously, it was the game-winning. They didn't know at this point.
Yeah.
But the last drive of the game comes down. He didn't throw to CD Lamb, I think, but one time on the entire drive. And, of course, the final play, he threw it to Tolbert for the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
They went completely away from him. They wanted to get him away. They wanted to have the game plan away from him. Same thing with the Steelers, but that doesn't matter for right now. We're sticking to the Cowboys. So you need to get CD Lamb and Dak on the same page
Yeah.
so that they can come out and try to win a game against this Lions team, who is one of the better teams in the entire NFL.
Yep.
And they
Definitely,
are
definitely.
serious Super Bowl contenders. And I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, and Jared Goff.
My goodness, you're
I have all the
building.
J's. That's the killer J's right there for
you're
the
just
Lions.
building that Lions team. with your
Jameer,
fantasy team.
Jared, and
Jameson.
Jameson are
Yeah.
going to run wild against this guy I'm playing in fantasy, by the way. He gave up, hasn't touched his team. He has 4 players playing for him this week in fantasy. So if I lose this week, it's going to be a problem.
I would assume that Micah and Tank Lawrence are still, not
out.
playing. Okay.
Yeah.
this
But
is-
they had something about Trayvon for his ankle, but he's supposed to play. But
Okay.
yeah, but so like whatever.
Yeah, I still think
Amon
that
Ra is going to go against Trayvon.
Amon-Ra's going to go off. Jameson's going to go off. Laporte is going to go off.
Do they still have Josh Reynolds? Because Josh Reynolds was a
I
very
do
good,
not.
underrated receiver 3.
I do think he's on the Broncos right now.
Oh, never mind. Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
when he
Lions.
was there, he was very underrated.
I'm going to go Lions and over on the points total.
So am I. I'm also going to go Lions over. What's the? It's a 52.5.
52.5, yeah.
Okay.
And now we're going to take you to our little Steelers-Raiders thing.
All right.
36.5 points
That's
total.
so disrespectful.
It's warranted, I'm going to be honest.
I-
Especially with the
yeah.
way the offense looked
Mm-hmm.
in the last couple of things. And we don't want to talk about it too much. I think the main storyline that we want to hit on just for this show today, if you want to tune in Friday, please do and listen to what we're going to have to say about this entire game.
Gonna be great.
The main storyline is that we are one of the front runners for Devontae Adams. We're going to go against him.
Mm-hmm.
You probably won't see him play, I wouldn't say.
I severely doubt.
He's faking a hamstring injury. He's not really injured.
Who says he's faking?
It came out of nowhere when the trade rumors started. He's not hurt.
Oh, I've got a hamstring
He's just not going to
injury.
play and maybe get himself injured and then tank his draft value because no one wants to trade for him when you're injured because you can't. I think the Steelers' offense needs to show something. Shout out to my dad. He would be remiss if I didn't mention Najee Harris has to run the ball better. You have to. It's not even just the offensive line blocking because that's still a problem. Najee Harris is supposed to be a north to south running back. You need to run up the field, hit holes hard, put your head down, run through guys when you're 6'3" or whatever, 240 pounds.
6'1", 240.
Oh, okay. So I overestimated his height, but he's probably closer to 6'2".
Big guy.
Yeah, he's huge. He's a mini Derrick Henry, and he doesn't run like Derrick Henry. He runs
He
runs like Barry Sanders, but he's not Barry Sanders. That's the problem. You can't run left and right when you don't have the acceleration and the burst that Barry Sanders had.
And it shows because he's averaging 3.5 yards or 3.3 yards per carry. That's awful.
And Fields,
that's just bad.
Yeah, Fields missed a couple of key throws. I will admit, and I've said so many times, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing me say it. I am the biggest Justin Fields fan. He's my favorite player in the NFL. But I will admit that he has missed a couple throws, and he looked great in that Colts loss when he had 310 yards and a touchdown and ran for 2 and almost led the drive to come back and win. But that Cowboys game, I just didn't see it. And I would like to not pass blame on the fact that he was playing at midnight and all this other stuff that happened that led up to it, and the rain and the wet field and the ball's probably wet. There's a lot of stuff that you can blame and make excuses for.
It was a scuffed game over.
Right. Excuse me, sorry for the peaking audio, but I agree it was definitely bad.
Yeah.
But you need a bounce back, and this Raiders team, they're 2-3, so they're not like the worst.
But you can beat up on them.
No, this team is bad. Like this Raiders team is bad, especially without. They only have Jacoby Myers.
Apart from those two guys on the defensive line, this is a bad team.
And I don't think you're necessarily going to see Max Crosby play a huge impact in the game. I think T.J. Watt will have more of an impact than.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
I think because Tomlin's main thing is defense.
There is a source here that says Adams is likely out versus the Steelers.
Right. Yeah. And he's not. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to play. But if you're Adams, you might think, I want to come out here and prove to the Steelers that I'm worth whatever draft. So or not draft picks. Right?
I think if he has to prove his worth.
Yeah, you don't have to, right? Because everyone knows he's one of the best receivers.
Adams,
yeah. But I think if from coming from a competitor, you'd want to be like, oh, well, you haven't offered enough for me. It's like the Tom Brady thing. It's like, oh, well, you don't want me? I'm going to throw 5 touchdowns against you in a Super Bowl. It's the same. It should be the same thing for Adams, where it's like, if you don't think I'm worthy of a second-round pick, because if you think I'm worthy of that, you would have offered it, and then we would have had a deal done by now.
Yeah.
So they're not giving a second-round pick. And
I absolutely think he's worth a second-round pick, but that's besides.
And another thing I was wondering is that maybe this is like where you see the second-round pick in Russell Wilson, but they're not going to make that deal the week before you're going to play them, because then Russell Wilson's going to come in and play against the team who just traded him, and you don't want to have that.
Yeah.
So maybe after this week, you'll see a deal done between the Steelers and
possibly,
I don't know if that plays into it. I am just going to say I'm taking – oh, gosh, dude, this sucks. I'm taking the Steelers. I'm taking over 36.5. I think the offense needs to have a breakout. I keep saying it every week. I'm going to keep saying it until I'm right. And if I'm not right this week, we're going to have a problem because it's the Jets next week. And it's a bunch of stuff with the Jets.
Okay. Well, I'm sticking with you here. I got Steelers over 36.5.
Okay.
Same here.
We did these. We did that. We got 3 games left here. It's the 4:25 Falcons-Panthers game, 46.5 total points scored. Carolina plus 220 as the underdogs. I'm riding Falcons.
So am I. They got a great offense. And
Kirk, I think, figured it out.
He did absolutely. 500 yards is figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's still problems with him in the pocket, right? He's still a statue. He still makes bad reads. I watched one of the interceptions he threw. It's like when he makes a bad play, it's a horrendous play.
It hurts. It really does.
Yeah, it's not like he just gave up a one-on-one shot and tried to take a risk and it got batted around and whatever happened. He just throws it directly to the defense.
Yeah, but that team is definitely figuring it out.
Right, and they have the explosive offense, and like Kadarius Hodge is now going to be like a key contributor for this Atlanta offense.
I wouldn't go that far. Wouldn't go that far.
Just the one touchdown in overtime. Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that probably inflates his stats.
I mean, yes, Andy Dalton's insanity run is over. It was fun while it lasted, Panther fans. You guys got your game against the Raiders. That was cool. But
bring Bryce Young back, you think, or no?
Get Bryce Young off the Panthers. Trade him.
Oh, okay.
I want to see him succeed, and it won't be on the Panthers. But the Falcons will definitely win this game by probably a lot of points. I'm not going to put a number down.
This is your biggest upset, or your biggest blowout?
My biggest upset. I get this is
biggest blowout. You're saying, right?
It's either this one or Texans Patriots. I would put more faith in this one.
Because this one has 46.5. They expect the offenses to score in this one.
I could see the Panthers.
Because the other one is 36.
Yeah, I could see the Panthers putting up like 20 points, possibly.
Okay.
I see the Falcons putting up 42.
Wow, that's a lot of touchdowns.
Panthers defense is not very good. I mean,
no, I agree. Other than J.C. Horn is like their bright spot, and I think
The
they still have
only bright spot.
no, they don't have Shaq Thompson anymore, do they? He's gone.
Even if they do, he's like 30.
Yeah, I think he's gone. The next game is Bengals Giants.
Yeah, he's still there, but you know.
Shaq Thompson is okay.
Yeah, he's 19 tackles.
Yeah.
But he is on the IR for his Achilles.
Oof.
So that sucks. Get better, Shaq Thompson.
Bengals Giants. Bengals at 1-4, but that 1-4 record has come against a lot of good teams,
very
and
good
they've
teams,
also
yeah.
underplayed early on, which happens a lot in a lot of offenses. They're just stagnant because
Yeah,
they don't have it
they
yet.
played the Chiefs and they played the Ravens. Like
Yeah,
those are two good teams that they probably should have won.
Yeah, and they're going against the Giants, and here we're going to say that they should win this game by a margin, like a large margin. But
yeah,
I
don't-
think
yeah.
the Giants are going to stay in this game.
Yeah,
and
I don't think this is going to be a blowout.
The Giants are close underdogs.
Oh, I don't know about close. You can't let that record fool you on it. Just their
Yeah.
Bengals are such a good team.
Yeah,
Barring the defense.
I think, gosh, because dude, like we might really underestimate this Giants team with Malik back, and the Bengals cornerbacks
Yeah,
have been spotty.
They've been Eli Apple burnt toast.
But sometimes they make big plays, right? And it's tough. And
Yeah.
Dax Hill is out. Well, I saw he's out for the season.
Yes, he is out for the season. Yep.
Yeah, and
Which
so
hurts.
is
But that already depleted, not.
And
amazing
Hendrickson, we've talked
secondary.
about. He's not playing great so far, right? We said
Yeah,
far he's not.
He's always very underrated, flying under the radar. Great type of season. Now he's actually flying under the radar, but he's just
Not
because he's not. That's 'cause he's not having a
yes,
good season.
yeah. And they have Pratt, their middle linebacker, but I don't think that's the thing. This Giants team is so bad. It's like on paper they're
On
so bad,
paper
but they
they're
have 2
very
wins. Like
bad.
what the heck? And it's against Seattle. And Seattle's on paper.
And while we're on this game, I would like to fill out my Daniel Jones apology form. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones. I
was not familiar with your game.
Not familiar with your game. I think that is he a bottom tier quarterback? No. Is he middle of the pack? Lower probably.
Wow.
Probably
So
lower middle pack.
you put him
I put him
like
in,
Kyler Murray.
Yes, he's in that category.
I was gonna say, you think he's better than Kyler Murray?
No, he's not better than Kyler Murray.
Okay.
He's not better. He's in that tier.
Okay, so
he's
how many worse quarterbacks? How many worse starting quarterbacks could you name than him? Just give me a number right now.
Am I counting?
Not
Huntley?
both in
Am I counting
Carolina.
Huntley?
No, he's not a starter.
No. Okay. Will Levis is worse.
Bryce
Both-
Young and
both-
Dalton.
Yeah, both Panthers
We're counting
quarterbacks.
one of
Yeah,
those,
so that
but
I would.
2,
Gardner Minshew's not better.
correct.
Who else do we have here?
You're never gonna say JF2 or Russell Wilson.
I
know you won't.
Nope, I will not say that.
Yeah.
Definitely not say that. Who else do we have here? Let's see.
I'm thinking about
Deshaun Watson is worse.
Okay, especially with how he's
Jacoby
played this
Brissett
year.
is worse.
Correct.
Whoever's starting for the Saints is worse.
Well, Derek Carr is the starter for the Saints.
Yeah,
We're
Derek
counting.
Carr's better. Derek
Okay.
Carr's having a better
Right, I agree.
season. That's probably it.
That's the extent of your list is 5 guys.
That's probably the extent of my list.
Well, okay, but now
How many quarterbacks was that,
preseason?
4?
No, that was 5.
That was 5,
But
okay.
preseason, you would have said Sam Darnold's worse than Daniel Jones.
I think 99.5, and that 0.5 are the Vikings fans.
Yeah.
So
Skull for them, I guess. Yeah, I'm taking Bengals too.
what's the line?
47.5 points.
Taking the over.
Oh, dude. Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. If anybody on the Giants can cover the likes of the Bengals receivers, I'm just gonna cry. And Ioshavas, I like Ioshavas, but I could see him having like a breakout game. He's been primed for it, and now we're gonna get
like 3 touchdown catches.
something like that. Now
Yeah.
we're primed for the big one, Monday night prime
Lot
time.
to talk about here.
Yep, and I have so much to say. Monday night, it's Jets Bills.
Yep.
AFC East divisional game. Bills sit at 3-2. Jets sit at 2-3. Jets coming off their loss to Minnesota, in which they got their head coach fired. Robert Saleh is gone. The DC
Yes, he
Albrecht
is.
is going to step up.
It's not going to be Hackett.
No, it's Jeff Albrecht. He's their defensive coordinator. He
Okay.
steps into the role of head coach. Their offensive coordinator Hackett is going to see an elevated role. What Saleh had said in a report is that he was planning on making a change himself for this upcoming week. He was going to put more of the offensive play calling on Hackett. he was going to take a lesser role in what his offensive input was and how much offensive control he had. He said that in one of his quotes. He also had stated that this was a complete and utter blindside, that he had no idea. He was just coming into work, and then he got escorted out by security, couldn't say bye to the players or staff or anybody.
That's so disrespectful.
Couldn't talk to anybody.
That is so disrespectful.
Yep, he showed up, and they ushered him out of the building and fired him. Aaron Rodgers went on to the Pat McAfee show earlier this morning, and he had stated that he had a call from the owner or the GM, one of the two, I'm not sure as to which. He got a call Sunday night or Monday night. I think it might have been Monday night, which, of course, he got fired yesterday morning, Saleh did. So this is like 12 hours before they fired Saleh. And Rodgers said that there was no inclination of Saleh getting fired. He had no idea. That was not talked about. All the conversation was between the upper executive and Rodgers was that he was asking about Rodgers' ankle because he saw the big play where he got rolled up on and they thought he was injured. He had to crawl off the field and get looked at and all this other stuff where they thought he was really, really severely hurt.
Yep.
It was only to call to check on him, and they have called in the past, so this wasn't like a one-time out of the blue like cause for concern.
Yeah.
This has happened. They've gone on the phone before and talked, but he had no idea, and they tried to press on him, like in terms of if anyone is surprised and this was all whatever, if anybody knew, if anybody didn't seem surprised, and he said it was like a chain reaction in the building where all the guys were there, but then their phone went off and it went like 20 phones went off, and then everybody like found out by their phone going off, so nobody had like a precursor of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's the Bills. If they win, I don't know how you take that, because this was going to be a close game, I think, regardless of if Saleh's there or not. For the Jets, and that's the thing another thing that Rodgers said is that he feels like he got his head coach fired. So those 2 interceptions, why they lost,
and
the pick
that video
6.
of him pushing Saleh on the sideline.
Yeah, the
Saleh
fake
went into
hug thing.
embrace, Yeah.
Yeah. But he said that he got him fired in the sense that he had bad play. It wasn't that he asked for Saleh to get fired. It was that he played bad
He
against
did
Minnesota.
He played terrible against
Right,
Minnesota.
the interception to Gilmore and the pick 6 to Van Ginkel, and he said that he felt as if they would have won that game, this wouldn't have happened, and they lost the game because of Rodgers, is what Rodgers said.
Yeah, and I think I don't know what reasoning they had to fire Robert Saleh. I mean, this season is
underperforming.
They're underperforming, but this season is by no stretch of the way over.
I agree.
They have 3 losses,
And if they win this game,
that
they're
puts them at 3-3,
and they're tied with
with Buffalo.
Right. So I could agree that I think it's premature, but at the same time,
If
you're off. Like, why is this offense not? They put a lot of money in this offense. They signed Mike Williams,
ton of money,
right? And they drafted high for Garrett Wilson.
They signed Tyron Smith,
right? And then they also drafted Braylon Allen, who I picked up in fantasy. Not that anybody cares about my fantasy team right now, but this offense I think should be good. And Breece Hall was rated as one of the better running backs in the entire NFL.
Has not lived up to that.
No, and the offensive line should be good, and this defense has been decent. So yes, why is this team 2-3 and not 4-1 or something else? But I mean, these key moments and that pick 6. Obviously, if you wipe that pick 6 off the board, now they're 3-2 and they're going against the 3-2 Bills, and now they're fighting for the top one in the division.
Yep.
So
I mean,
I agree with you that it's premature. As for this game, 40.5 is the total points scored.
I'm going to smash that under.
Really, you think it's going to be a
smashing
defensive
that.
game?
Yes, very defensive game.
Who do you have?
I have the Bills. I think that there's so much distraction in that locker room, in the Jets locker room, that it's definitely going to play a big role.
Yep.
Even though Josh Allen went 9 for 30.
Oh yeah, that was a bad game.
Oh my
bad
lord,
game.
9 for 30. That's like
that made Diggs look a whole lot better, especially after what they said about him not being needed in that Bills offense.
Did you see that side eye? That picture of the side eye?
Oh yeah. That's a huge meme. Yeah. So here's the thing though. The Jets, they're plus 115. So this is the lowest that we've seen for a presumed underdog. Is the lowest. So I think this is gonna be really close.
I could see this being close.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Jets here.
Okay.
I think after this happens, they're gonna be the team in general is going to be like.
Okay, we need to lock in.
Yes, and they're going to feel that like, all right, well. No, that was the change that maybe some of the players wanted. They wanted him gone, and you saw Mekhi Becton, who was a former Jets tackle, posted on Twitter a picture, and it's being speculated that he's like, well, yeah, I wasn't the problem. Saleh was. So I'm going Jets. I'm taking the over. You're going Bills under.
Yeah, what was the line?
40.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the under.
Yep. And so that has been our NFL picks. You've heard us talk about a lot of things today. Maybe make your own presumptions. Leave it in the comments section or hit us up maybe if you know us. But as the 3 p.m. mark of this great day here, it's going to be Wednesday, October 9th. 3 p.m. mark hits us. We're going to send you out. Thank you guys for listening so much.
Yeah,
I've been Christian Bartoletti, my co-host.
Ben Giannetta.
Yep, we appreciate your viewership and your listening. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you out.
Yep, have a great day.
Yep.